Shalom, shalom.
Uh,
We should be all right. Uh, Hey, shalom. This your brothers of Great Millstone, Charlotte, coming with another, quick live exhortation to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, we want to start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
uh,
And so, as you can see by the title, you know, we're entering the peak of prophecy, man. Right? So it's becoming ever more and more important, that we stay circumspect, that we understand what's going on, you know, domestically, geopolitically, as it pertains to prophecy, right? Pay attention, to these different world affairs, man. Pay attention to the natural disasters and the destruction that you're seeing as a result of the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know, because the one thing we understand is that the worst things come to pass the closer we are to receiving the kingdom, man. Right? But we have to understand and be able to measure out the times, as we see these prophecies coming to play, coming into pass, man.
Kind you want Ephesians or you want Second Esdras first?
You can start in Ephesians.
Okay. This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light.
Mhm.
See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise,
Mhm.
redeeming the time because the days are evil."
Right. The days are evil, man. Evils and only evils are about to come upon Babylon the Great. Right. And these are things that you have to understand. Now, when you go into that word circumspect, it goes into considering all the circumstances and possible consequences to be prudent, man. You know, so prudence, is a key factor in this ministry, man, because we have to understand to be able to see, what things are about to come before us, man. We understand we're about to walk into the heart, Jacob's trouble, right? So we want to be on the right side, of the Lord, man, because He's gonna bring horrible, horrible calamities upon the world. But if you're walking around in darkness like the rest of the world is, you're not gonna understand these things and understand why these things are coming to pass, man.
Verse 17. Keep going.
Kind, you can read something.
Okay. It says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is."
Right. So be not unwise and understand what the will of the Lord is, man. Understand what the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is. What's that? He said, it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom, roughly paraphrasing, but somebody has to be taken out of power in order for us to be put into power, right? And in that what's the transfer of power, it's gonna be great violence, man. Right? No kingdom has ever gone out, without great violence or great turmoil, man. And Esau, Edom is no exception. And they're gonna hold on. They're gonna fight to their last breath, in order to maintain their rulership. But in the midst of that, it's gonna be all out chaos out here, man. We already see, them what's the word? How can I say this without, they use their various devices, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in order to cause these different weather patterns and things that cause all this destruction, man. Right? We understand it's the Lord at the end of the day, but the Lord He gave them that that ability, man. And this is all them, trying to forward their new world order plans, man. Right? And that's part of being circumspect and understanding these things. That these things are required to happen in order for us to get to the kingdom, man.
Keep going in that.
That's it on that. You can get that second Ezra.
Okay. This is Second Esdras chapter 9. We'll get verse 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made."
Right. So we're saying, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is starting to intensify, all these things, man. As we get closer to the appearing of Yahweh Shai, we're going to see more and more things, seemingly get worse, right? We're about to see sedition of the people. We already see these elites out here proclaiming themselves as the Most High, right? So
Mhm.
that's a direct declaration of war, man. So we're pretty
Mhm.
much watching the end of the movie, man. We're about to enter into the climax of this movie, right? We're seeing World War III start to pop off. We're seeing various plagues and pestilences, right? The economy is about to hit be in the tanks.
Yep.
What's it called? They're about to have the second lockdowns that are about to come upon us, man. Like all these things are, the poly crisis, as brothers love to go into, right?
Mhm.
On all sides, this place is getting hit, right? But we're just entering to the peak, right? Like a roller coaster, just getting up to the top, man. Before it all goes downhill.
Got precept.
Okay.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2. We'll get verse 1 because this is how you measure the times diligently. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Because this is pretty much the job of a watchman, a prophet. When you go into where a watchman goes into save life, which is shamarium, because that's pretty much what the prophets do through the spirit. I'm gonna read again.
Mm-hmm.
This I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I'm reproved. Pretty much watching out, being a spiritual forecaster, saying, hey, this is going to happen next. This is what's going to happen. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. Making the way plain. Bible shot, could you get Isaiah 62 and I think it's verse 7 or 8, uh, verse 2. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So pretty much when you go into the word plain, all right, it goes into the same word as a well, because when you dig a well, pretty much uh, um, you left with like a whole bunch of dirt and stuff. So pretty much it shares the same word because you're revealing everything about a particular subject, and showing what you should do, and what you shouldn't do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
did you get that?
God, this is Isaiah 62 and verse 6. It reads, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which
Mm-hmm.
shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence.
And what's spiritual about that, is that like with the watchmen, like they're always on their post, and then when one takes a break, another one relieves them. It's pretty much representative of there's no speech where language is not heard. Day unto day utter a speech, and night unto night sure acknowledge. You got brothers on the other side of the world, pushing forth the word, always spiritually forecasting.
Right. It
I think
says, and give, it's like,
I think it was let's say prepare ye the way. It might be like verse 7 to 8.
um, let me see. Because this is verse 7. Verse 7 says, and give him no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
I'm gonna get it. This is
Um,
Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 10. It says, go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. And this is pretty much what the prophets are doing, going back to second Ezra chapter 9, and Habakkuk chapter 2, making that way plain, breaking down the prophecies through the spirit so that the believers can understand it, because like we're going into, we are in those times to where, prophecy is happening on a major scale. We're seeing something happen different every day. We just had the Maui fires, and you got
mhm.
fires up in like, I think you got some in Texas and then some in Canada. So we in a
Yep.
time of poly crises, I'm gonna keep going. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision going into the prophecies and make it plain upon tables, understandable, that he may run that readeth it, so the rest of the believers can understand. Verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. So pretty much those visions, we're seeing those visions, those prophecies happening right now, each and every day.
Mm-hmm. You can go back to that the second Ezra.
Verse 3, second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Right. So it was all planned to happen like this, man. All these things were written to go as we see it, man. Right? The good and the bad. Right? All the levels of destruction, all the levels of judgment, right? And we're watching these things ramp up. We're watching these things because it's going to be more and more mass judgments that take place, man. The brother was just telling me, it's 100 and some people that died out there in Maui, man, and they're still
Mm-hmm.
looking for more people, right? It's people that are about. There's going to be a death toll as a result of this hurricane going over in
Yeah.
California. It's going to be a death toll going on as a result of the fires that's going on over all throughout the country, man, right? And these things are just going to continue to ramp up. They got whatever new variant of this disease that's going to take out some people, right? This is all the judgment of the Lord, but
Mm-hmm.
it's because we're at the end of the end, man. Right? We're at the peak of all the prophecies taking place. The MOTB is coming. World War III is coming. The sedition is coming. Right? The fall of the dollar is coming. All these things that you read about in the scriptures that have been prophesied before times, as it says, uh, the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, man. So these things are all already written to happen, but it's our responsibility to be circumspect, right? To be prudent in understanding when these things are happening and being able to what's the word, decipher, these prophecies, man.
Mm-hmm. God, keep going.
We'll read down to 7.
God says, do we read 4? I read it again. The second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 4 says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, and it says manifest, when you go into the word manifest, it means that it's obvious. Because we're seeing, these large scale judgments. We're seeing the earthquakes, we're seeing the uproars, we're seeing places switching over to a different currency. What today is the 22nd, they got that pretty much the BRICS is getting up together and making a currency against the USD. So what is that going to do? That's going to further devalue the dollar, because pretty much it was saying reportedly that like one of those dollars in these other countries is going to pretty much be like 55 US dollars. So if you want to spend like 50 US dollars, it'll be like 1100. So something that costs 50, when you do the currency exchange in another country, pretty much would be
Mm-hmm.
1100 if a so-called American was to travel somewhere else. Pretty much they want to do like trade and things like that. So it's going
Mm-hmm.
to push forth a famine, which that's also prophesied. So we're in a
Right.
heavy time of prophecy.
Hey, that's the what's it called? Hyperinflation, man. Right. All these,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the famine is going to come as a result of that, because all these goods, America, no longer is a producer. It's a chiefly an importer, man.
Uh-huh.
Right? And if all these nations start going over to that BRICS currency, then as you said, you know, the American dollar is going to be trashed, man. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be worthless, and then that's going to lead, to the uproars of the people, right? People getting put down by the sword, people getting,
Mm-hmm.
the teeth of wild beasts, you know, and they're going to bring in that device, that implantable buy or sell device as a some type of savior, man. To people are gonna look at that as something that's gonna save them out of these calamities, not realizing that they're giving their souls over to this devil, man. And that's exactly what they want, because they want control over everything, man. They talking about their carbon initiatives. They talk about they want zero meat consumption. They want zero this. They want zero that, right? Because they want complete and total control over everybody's body and everybody's minds, man.
Verse 6, second Ezra chapter 9, verse 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders, and powerful works, and endings, and effects, and signs.
And that's what we're seeing, man. We're starting to see those signs, man. We're starting to see those powerful works, right? We're seeing the chariots, showing themselves, man. as the elder ICR went into. They're making that show of force, right? To as an intimidation to show, Esau really ain't got it, man. Right? No matter how proud you get, right, you're not gonna be able to go up against this and win. Right? They can try to fight, but it's an exercise in futility. Right? So all the things that we're seeing, these are all signs of the ends, man. This is all signs of Yahweh Shai's eventual return and him establishing Israel as the ruling power in the planet, man.
Mm-hmm. Verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed.
So faith and works, man. Right? That's what we have to continue to pray for. Is more faith, more diligence, more discipline. Pray for the endurance, right? Because you pray for the confidence, right? Because that goes into with faith. And that faith is going to drive you to what? Do the works. Whatever the Lord has designed for you, whatever lot you're in, right? You're gonna maximize that portion that's been given to you, man. But it's all through faith and it's all through the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because there's no need to fear Esau, man. Esau can only do what the Lord allows him to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the Lord is the one who controls everything. So you gotta put your fear in that. Um, could you grab Tobit 4 and 14? The point will be at the end of it.
Khan, Salat. Just Tobit. You said Tobit chapter 4?
Con and verse 14.
This is Tobit chapter 4 and verse 14. It reads, Let not the wages of any man which hath wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand. For if thou serve the Most High, he will also repay thee. Be circumspect, my son, in all things thou doest, and be wise in all thy conversation.
Right. So the point, be circumspect in all things that you do and be wise in all your conversation, man. This is why brothers is having these holy conversations. Right? We speak of the kingdom, we speak of the prophecies, we speak of the judgments coming, right? Because we see what's happening around us, man. Right? That word circumspect again, going, circum going into around, inspect meaning to look, man. Right? So just look around at what's happening, man. Pay attention, to what's going on. Watch the news, go into the alternative news sites, all these things, so that you can be, and chiefly, pay attention to the prophets, right? Because these are the men who have been set up to what's the word? Disseminate this information through the spirit, man, right? Through the scriptures. So you have to continue to pay attention to these things so that you're not caught unawares, man. Because the majority of people are going to be caught unawares. And it said, be wise in all that conversation. Because, we talk about folly on occasion, but, there's going to come a time where, look, man, every conversation is going to have to be, spiritual conversations, man. As we see these things ramp up, as we see, everything start to get intensified and everything getting more tight, right? It's going to be more and more important for us to be attached, at the hip in the spirit, man. You know, we can get Jeremiah 26 and read 2 through 5, and we can close with that unless you have anything else, because pretty much, it's just a, hearken to the message, man. Right? That's the whole point. Pay attention, take these words and apply them, man. Right? Understand the prophecies that are coming to pass. Look around at what's going on around you, man. And get yourself ready in the spirit, right? Isaiah 33 and 6 is going to be, one of the most important scriptures, man. Because, you're going to need that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in order to maneuver throughout these times, man.
God, you said Jeremiah 2?
26 and 2 through 5.
2 through 5. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 26, and verse 2, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand in the courts of the Lord's house, and speak unto all the cities of Judah, which come to worship in the Lord's house, all the words that I command thee to speak unto them, diminish not a word."
So we've been commanded to, go out here and prophesy, man. Whether it be through these videos or, out on the highways and hedges, man. Right? This is what we've been commanded to do, to give this warning, to tell you to be circumspect, right? To let you know that we're about to reach the end of this thing, man.
If so be they will hearken and turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent me of the evil which I purpose to do unto them because of the evil of their doings.
Because this is to give you an opportunity to get on the good side of the Lord, man. As it said, they turn from their evil way. So you turn from your evil way and you start following the right way, the right path, right? So the Lord, won't do the evils that He's gonna bring upon you, man. Right?
Verse 4, "And thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, if ye will not hearken to me, to walk in my law which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of the servants, to hearken to the words of my servants the prophets, whom I sent unto you, both rising up early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened."
And that's what we're seeing, man. The majority of our people have not hearkened unto this message, man. The majority of our people, they're not walking circumspectly. They're not paying attention to to what's going on. They have no idea, of the judgment that the Lord has about to come upon the lands, man. Right? Evil men understand not judgment. Right? So when they see these mass calamities, these mass judgment events take place, they look at it as a what's the word? Some happenstance, right? Just a poor occurrence, right? But we understand that this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai taking place in the land, and more of these things are about to come, man.
Keep going.
That's pretty much the point on that.
Con.
But the point, man, we're at the peak of prophecy, man. Right? Pay attention to what's going on. There's no reason why you shouldn't be abreast of all the events that are taking place. I know it's a lot, right? But that's what the men of the Lord are here for, right? Listen to the apostles, listen to other brothers, because brothers are pretty much going into all these things, to give that warning out, man. Continually blowing that trumpet, right? That's what we've been commanded to do. Give him no rest till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth, right? So it's nonstop, go, 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 right? Continually applying pressure, right? Until the Lord comes, until the Lord says, no more, right? But look, we're at the end of this thing, man. But we understand as things intensify, right? Our relationship with the Lord has to be, continually what's the word? Solidified, man.
Like they say in the world, play till the whistle blow.
Exactly. God. But unless you have anything else, we can go ahead and close it out.
I am.
God. Hey, so Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson, man. Just burning some early morning oil. Shalom to you, brothers, man. And you want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, and Kwar Mesharala, and Abad Babal, man.
Ball.
And DTA soon. Right, Shalom.